Grayson, can you still hear me? Everything working good on your end? Grayson, let me know if you can hear me, so I know that the sound and everything is good. Oh, good. Wonderful. Then I think we're gonna do just fine. Hey guys. I can't see names of the people who are here, but welcome. We'll get started in just a minute. Grayson, I have Messenger pulled up just in case. Oh, yay. Hey, Farm Life Outfitters. I have Messenger pulled up or whatever messages in case something looks funny or whatever. You guys can let me know. Oh, yeah. Your message didn't go through before that comment came through, so that's why. Hello, little ladybug patch. Miss Candace. And VW Family Farm, hello. Just got my notes here, looking over them. This is the absolute weirdest feeling. Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. It's 8:01. People can kind of file in if there's anybody else. So the ones of you who are here know me, but hopefully there'll be some people who don't. So I wanted to just take a minute to say hello and tell you guys a little bit about me. My name is Shannon Thompson. My husband is Kevin. We have 3 beautiful children who are 19, 17, and 13. We just moved to the house that we're living in about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. And so our goal over the past 10 years has just been to create a sustainable, simple life for ourselves and our family. And that has been a really hard road. We've had pluses and minuses in those areas and everything, and have ended up here where I think we can actually accomplish the goals that we had set out for ourselves. So I grew up next door to Mount Gilead, the area that we live now, so we're not that far from where I grew up. And tonight what I wanted to do was just have a conversation with you guys about my health journey and how that is going right now, kind of a brief history of it, and where I'm planning on going in this next year. So like I said, 3 kids, and we've just recently moved. I think the best place to start telling you about the history of my health journey is to just start over the past 5 years. I do have a video up on our YouTube channel that talks a little bit about, my journey a couple of years ago. So a lot has happened since that video. Around the time that video was shot, I had my first gallbladder issues. When you start losing weight, a lot of times, and you're an older female, you tend to have gallbladder issues. It does happen. And I had just come off of a fast, and after that had my first gallbladder attack. So not really knowing what it was, I lived with it for a little while. Eventually went to the doctor, found out, you have gallstones, and you probably need to have your gallbladder taken out. But I didn't really want to do that. Wasn't sure that it was my gallbladder. So I kind of waited around and kept having issues. I didn't have the symptoms that people normally have when they have gallbladder issues. I mean, there were some, but they weren't the same. I didn't explain the pain the way that most people would have explained the pain. So they were never really sure. They could never really give me a definite answer that it was my gallbladder. And I worried that I would have my gallbladder out and would still have issues. So I kept working on losing weight and tried to do the best I could and work through it. I wanted to keep my gallbladder. I was like, God gave me a gallbladder and I really want to keep it. And I went almost a year, probably almost a year and a half before I ever had surgery. And finally, over probably the last 9 months of that, just lived with pain daily. Couldn't eat anything without some kind of pain. And so during that time, I'm losing weight, but I'm beginning to lose a lot of weight. Not just weight from exercising and those types of things, actually losing weight because I couldn't eat anything and everything hurt and I was in constant pain and I was scared, really, really scared that something else was wrong. So finally in March of 2019, I decided to have my gallbladder out. And once it was out, about a week to 2 weeks into that, I realized, oh yeah, this fixed the problem. That was it. I'm feeling much better. I can eat things without hurting. I don't have all this pain. And it changed my life. It was wonderful. And for the first time in a long time, I could eat what I wanted to eat. And I think that is really what opened the door to me moving away from my health goals and opening doors the same way, I had before, overeating. That has always been an issue in my life. Even as a little girl, from the time I could fix my own food, I was overeating. It's always been a way that I've comforted myself. So I've always struggled with that issue, and I just basically opened that door back up, after I had my gallbladder surgery. So, at first it was just, I can have this piece of key lime pie. It's my favorite thing in the world, and it's okay for me to enjoy this. I've really suffered. I've really been through a lot. And, that turned into, well, it's okay to have, Chick-fil-A, which just moved into our town not long ago, every once in a while. And, from there it snowballed. And so I had went from passing by in the grocery store all of the foods that were on the no list for me. Like, I didn't even see them. They weren't even there. They never tempted me. I never had issues with that. To all of a sudden, anything and everything was a possibility. And I took that and ran with it. So fast forward a few months, Kevin and I started making the decision. This is September of last year, that we were going to move. And this was a really hard decision because it was not just leaving, memories behind and, your house. You're kind of sad that you're leaving this home and excited about going to another place. It was not that for me, because there was so much other stuff tied to our move. So first of all, I was living in the neighborhood that my parents lived in. And my great-grandma lived behind me. My mom and dad lived right across the street from us there. So I was in the neighborhood I grew up in and that my family had lived. And not only that, but the house that I lived in was my great-grandma's house. So if we moved, I was leaving family, and there was kind of this security with us all being there together. There was this thought, in the back of my mind that, my parents and my great-grandma, they were getting older and that I would be there to take care of them. And there was also this feeling of, if we sell this house, I want to make sure that there are good neighbors. And how could I sell this house? This is, a house that's been in our family for 70-something years. So there was all this tied to the move. I think that contributed to me overeating. And, then, of course, we moved. So then there's the move, which is stressful. And goodness, it snowballed, from there. December into January were, Christmas, and then knowing that Ethan, my son, was going to leave for basic training in February. So for the first time, he was going to be gone and moving away for a while, and that had never happened before. So, February 2020 came on the 18th, and, we shipped him off to Fort Jackson. And he went to basic training. And so from the time we moved, I just kind of entered this really, really dark place. Just, I hesitate to call it depression, but it was a really dark time. And I didn't really know how to handle that. And so I did what I've always done, which is use food to comfort. And that went on, all of this year. Then, of course, COVID, which did not really change my life and my lifestyle that much. Of course, Kevin was out of work for a couple of weeks during the, shutdown. But other than that, my life pretty much stayed the same. So I think all of that and all of the change kind of culminated in, this place that I was. It was not fun, and I'm still not completely out of the woods yet, I would say. I still have moments where I don't feel quite the way I used to, is the only way I know how to describe it. But I'm better than I was. I mean, I can actually kind of get up and do things a little bit and take care of the house a little bit more and everything. So that has helped a lot. I weighed this morning on the scale, and I weighed 217 pounds. I recently have been looking back at some of my journals and stuff from 10 years ago, things that I had written then, and I just came across this page the other day where I had written down, it was actually in December, like around this time, maybe the 28th or something, and I had written down that I weighed 270 pounds. And so I'm sure I was in that range for a very long, close to 300 for a very long time. During my weight loss, when I went to the doctor and was diagnosed with high blood pressure and pre-diabetes a couple of years ago, I weighed about 256, somewhere around in there, when I actually started the process of the weight loss. So I had lost a few pounds in between there, 10 or more, just from changing our food, going to organic foods and that type of thing. So yeah, when I actually got to the weight loss, about 256 or 265, somewhere in there. And when I had my gallbladder surgery, I weighed, I think the smallest I saw was 125 on the scale, somewhere around in there. And then my numbers have just gradually gone back up. The first of this year, sometime while Ethan was gone, I hit 200 again. And that crushed me, because I really believed in my heart that I would never be over 200 pounds again. And here I am. So, as I said, I weighed this morning and weighed 217. So, I've decided that I'm going to start this journey again, that I'm going to kind of do a restart. The great thing about this is that I already have a lot of the knowledge and the tools to do this. I've done it once. I know I can do it again. That doesn't bother me. But what I had before, when I was doing this the first time, was a few people in my life that were knowledgeable about that, and were really supportive, and they were in my life frequently, weekly, and I had some support there. And I don't have that quite as much this time. So I decided that I needed a way to be accountable, and that's where you guys come in. I think that by doing this, sharing this with you guys, it will help me to be accountable. I'm doing this for me because I feel like I need to. There's something in me right now that needs this, and so I'm good with that. But I think I need you guys too. So it's good to have some support when you're doing these types of things. And on top of that, there is this small part of me that thinks that maybe somebody else is out there who's in the same spot, who needs maybe a little bit of courage, or a little bit of inspiration. And maybe I can offer that. You don't have to be so far ahead of other people to offer inspiration, right? You can inspire somebody just where you are. And so that's what I'm doing. I had all these notes over here, of things I wanted to say, and so anyway, or that I wanted to talk about. But so that's what I'm doing this for, and I've kind of lined out my time period, or the time frame, over the next couple weeks. I started this on December 1st, and what I'm going to do, and this is what I would suggest to anybody who is trying to do these things, for themselves, or trying to lose weight and, get healthy, is that you really need to prepare your body for that. And so the month of December is my prep month. And here's what that'll look like for me. Yes, thank you. Teamwork. And yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to make this work. So here's what I'm going to do. This first week of December is going to be really simple for me. No more eating fast food or anything like that, and begin to hydrate my body. I found that last time that was incredibly important. And so one thing I'll be doing is starting to drink more water every day. And in that water, I'll be adding, I usually take about a half of a lemon, an organic lemon, and squeeze that, a quarter of it to a half, into my water when I'm drinking it, and begin that process of flushing out toxins and just creating, health in my body, hydration. So starting to move some of those things out that I've probably put in there with all this crazy food I've been eating. So that, and then just beginning to resist some of that temptation to eat fast food or the things that I've been doing there. I'll also start adding some supplements back in, magnesium, I'm trying to think, and a probiotic, to start building, some gut health, because I know I've definitely been on an antibiotic last year around this time. And so I know I definitely need to be rebuilding that gut health that I had. So that's the first week. The second week moves into doing those same types of things: hydration, cutting out fast foods, the supplements, and then the weekend of the 12th and 13th there'll be a small weekend fast. And I think that's important for everybody. Fasts can really kickstart your body and restart your body. So I'll be doing that the 12th and the 13th. The third week, I'm adding back in more organic and more healthy foods. So I took a job, which I thought I would never do, working in an after-school program for the YMCA here in our area. And the goal of taking that job was to make enough money for me to, build the farm and the infrastructure, because we're completely starting over here again. So that was the goal of the job. But here is one of the not so great parts of that, is that my job is from 1 to 6 in the afternoon. And cooking meals, even though I have time in the morning, my time is used for so many other things. And so it's really hard to cook good, healthy meals. For so long, being at home, I think I had a chip on my shoulder, maybe it was so judgmental, about people who worked, moms who worked, whatever. And I had been at home so long, I really felt like it was the right thing to do and the right way to live. And I guess I was kind of judgmental. And, now that I'm actually partially living that, I'm like, my gosh, this is hard. I think I have more respect for working moms than I did just seeing what this part-time job, is like, and how the odds are stacked against people to eat healthy, to cook from scratch if they're working. So anyway, that third week brings me back to cooking more healthy meals and making sure that that's done. This process is slow because your body, it takes time, to do this. The fourth week, same thing, hydration, healthy organic foods, adding in exercise. That fourth week, the end of the month will be, beginning to walk 30 minutes daily, that type of thing. The fifth week, same thing, hydration, supplement, healthy foods, exercise, get that, walking in, and maintain for that last week through New Year's. And then on week 6, this is what I'm going to do. There's this book that a friend let me borrow. I still have it. It's called The Maker's Diet by Jordan Rubin. And I'm going to use this book to kind of help me in the process of the next couple of weeks. There's 3 different phases for this program that he uses, and the first phase is about 2 weeks, and it's pretty restrictive. The first phase, let's see, number 1, you're getting cravings under control. You're taking out, carbohydrates like grains and pastas and beans and things like that. I think the only fruits you can have are berries. No nuts and seeds and that type of thing. So it's very, very restrictive, but you kind of get your insulin under control, your blood sugar, those types of things, kill those cravings, and just kind of restrict everything. It starts to bring down inflammation, take care of lots of things, and reset your body. And then each 2-week period after that kind of builds on that and adds some foods back in. So the phase 2 gives you a greater variety of foods. You add back in fruits and nuts and seeds. And then the third phase of it, which will put me into February, will kind of just be a maintenance phase. It's basically the foods that I want to eat for the rest of my life. Now, you and me both know that fad diets don't work, and this is not that kind of diet. I mean, he uses that word, but it's not used in the same context. Basically, his thoughts on this is just that God gave us, wonderful natural foods to eat, and he wants us to be healthy, and he kind of gives us some guidelines on how to do that. And so by the time you're in that maintenance phase, it's just the things that you would normally eat. And so I'm going to use this program, to help me with that, to get back on track, because I really need that swift kick in the behind and a couple weeks of that restricted eating in order to, keep myself on track. I think the thing that I am most concerned about, or that bothered me so much last time as I was starting this weight loss, was the cravings. I mean, I remember feeling sort of like an addict in a way. It was odd. I would walk back and forth to the kitchen, open the fridge, look in the refrigerator, find nothing that I could eat, because in this place that I am right now, anything that's like fast, quick, that you can grab, you don't have to heat up, you don't have to warm, you don't have to cook it. That's what, my body's looking for. Sugar, it's craving those types of things. And so I don't look forward to my body and how it's going to respond when I don't give it what it wants. That, I think, was the worst part of it last time, and I'm really not looking forward to that. The great thing is this time that I know I can do it. I know I can make it happen, and I'm excited about that. And I think this time, I don't know that I'm as ready for the challenge, as I was last time, but I definitely feel, I just know I have to. is the only way I can put it. I know I absolutely have to do something, or there are going to be consequences in my life, that I'm bringing about. And that brings me to another point. I have a video out that I did a couple years ago about, my health journey, where I go a little bit more in detail about the beginning of stages of that and what it was like. But I feel like health and natural eating is so incredibly important. And I'm watching, my kids, the girls, watching them gain weight too again because of our eating habits. And I don't want to pass that on to them. I want them to know how to eat healthy, and I want that to be something important. And, it's a really big thing for me. If you're a mom and, you're the one, primarily doing the cooking and taking care of, buying groceries and stuff, I think it's especially important for us to make sure that our kids learn those eating habits, and good ones. I encourage you to find people in your area that grow good, wholesome food. Get in touch with them and buy your food from them. I encourage you to eat organic if you can. And I'll be honest, Kevin and I have lived on one income our whole married life, with the exception of a few years. Ethan's 19 now, and I stayed at home with him his whole life for the most part. And I can say this: we sacrificed majorly. Our grocery bill doubled when we started eating organic foods, but it was worth every single penny. And I have always banked on, if I put forth the effort now and the money now to put the best food in my body that I possibly can, the highest quality, I think later on down the road, I'll see the benefits of that. 10 or 20 years of eating healthy like that can go a long way and keep a lot of sickness away. It is really not normal for us to have so many diseases and be so sick, as we get older. We think it's normal, that's what we see mostly, but it's not. And I don't want to spend the last years of my life like that. So that is what I'm doing. I'm restarting this health journey. I'm going to try to lose this weight, but more importantly, I just want to be healthy. That is my ultimate goal, is to have health and wellness in my life, to teach that to my kids. And, I think it's important for me also because, there's something that I want to do here with this farm. I have a goal, and my goal is to be a place that other people who are coming into this lifestyle, who are just beginning to get a few tiny glimmers of, hey, something is not right here. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something not right about things. And they're just beginning to think about these things. I want to be here for those people. I think I figured out that there are a lot of other people who are doing the homesteading thing, and they are teaching those types of skills and helping other people. I think I'm thinking about those who are just coming into this. And I would like to help those people, find their way, walk alongside them as they walk this journey out. Because going against the grain, swimming in the opposite direction, being the counterculture is, it's hard. It's hard to opt out of these systems. We lost friends over that, years and years ago. It's a difficult decision. And so I'd like to, Brave Acre's a place that people can kind of, help, people find their way. And I just totally botched that, but that is the truth. That's what I'm trying to do. It's hard to put into words, and not be boring, what we're doing here. But it's in its beginning stages. We're growing a cut flower farm, and that is the way that we're going to have an extra income for our family and make money for our farm. I love flowers. I enjoy being able to see people's reactions. I love the emotional connection that flowers, bring. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing that. We also opened up in November a flower and gift shop ahead of the flower farm. That way we'd have a place to sell our flowers here at home. And we have other little gifts in there. So that's a great way for us to connect to our community. The next leg of all of that we want to accomplish in the new year is classes and workshops online. And, these are ways that we can, teach what we know, and then what we don't know, other people. We can join with them and help teach people, walk with them as they come into this different type of lifestyle, homesteading and sustainable living and a natural, simple life. So I've talked enough. You guys got any questions over there, or anything else that you'd like to know? I feel like I missed some important stuff at the beginning, but I'm being really honest. This just totally made me nervous tonight, starting out. So I apologize for that. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you listening. And I will see you all later. Have a great night, guys. Thank you. Bye.